everyone, welcome back to the Art of Doing It All YouTube channel. My name is Madison if you guys are new here. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys why I decided to not get a job in the corporate world after graduating college and why I decided to work for myself and pursue my dreams, if you will. This is my dream, what I'm doing now, and to be really successful at it, but I just feel like the saying pursue your dreams is so cheesy. So I hate saying that, but that is truly what I'm doing, as cheesy as it sounds. So if you guys are unaware and you don't follow me on my family vlogging channel, I will have it linked down below, but I am about 8 weeks pregnant when you guys are watching this video with my second child. So if I sound a little out of breath or anything, I'm sorry about that. This is the first sit down video that I've done since I've been pregnant, and I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to just talk nonstop for minutes on end. So I will try to keep drinking my water, taking breaks, and not sounding out of breath, because I know that can be really annoying. But if you guys aren't aware, I am pregnant, so that is why. Okay, so as I get into this, I'm just going to assume that you guys are all new and you don't know me, you don't know my story. So let me tell you guys a little bit about my story, and then I'm going to explain to you guys why I decided not to take a job in the corporate world and in my field that I have a degree in, and why I decided to pursue my dreams and run my own businesses, like I said. So I'm 22 years old. I'm a mom of one 2-year-old daughter named Harper. I had Harper when I was 19 years old, and I was a sophomore in college, and I still finished and graduated college at the age of 21 on time in 4 years. So I feel like that says a lot about my character. I'm very proud of that, and that's one of my biggest accomplishments in life, other than just the birth of my daughter herself. I think that I'm a go-getter. I believe in myself a lot, and if someone tells me that I can't do something, or if the odds are against me, that makes me want to do it even more. So that I think that me having a baby at 19 and then still graduating at 21 really says a lot about me. After I graduated college, I did still have an internship requirement that I had to complete to officially get my diploma at the end of the summer. So following my graduation ceremony, I went ahead and did a internship at a digital marketing and ad agency that focuses a lot in politics. So the majority of our clients at this marketing agency that I worked for were politicians or aspiring politicians, people who are running for office. And we did have some really big clients. So this was a very exciting place for me to work. I was super excited about getting this internship. It was somewhere that was looked up to a ton in the DC area. It was an up-and-coming company. They had just started in 2009, and 10 years later they were booming, huge company. You know, they were hiring new people every single month. People were coming on, budgets were increasing, and it was a really exciting time to be in that company. And at first I loved the company. I still do love the company. I really liked the people that I worked with. I like the company itself. I like their mission. I like what they do. I like the executives there. I do like the company. I'm not gonna talk badly about them because I don't really have much bad to say. I do have a few things I could say, but I will just keep those to myself. But yeah, I started interning for this company, and it wasn't a traditional part-time unpaid internship. It was basically a job, because I was working 40 hours a week. I was commuting to work into out from the suburbs, more inwards towards the DC area. Their office wasn't in DC, but it was closer to DC than where I live. So I was doing that probably an hour and a half total commute a day. I was working from about 9 to 6 every day. I was paying out the ass for parking or in that area, just spending basically my whole life at this internship. And I was being paid, but I wasn't being paid much. And I started to realize that so much of my time was being put into this job. And when I started working at this company, I had assumed in my head that it was was going to be relatively easy to get a high paying job at this company. And when I say high paying, you know, I wasn't expecting to start off by getting a job that made 6 figures. I definitely wasn't expecting that at all, but I was expecting a job that had like a livable wage. And I had also thought, which is probably naive of me, and I know a lot of people are going to judge me for the things that I say in this video, and I really don't care. I'm just going to speak my truth and tell you guys like my mindset and where I was then, where I was when I made this decision, and where I am now. So during this internship, and I'm not talking specifically about this company, I just mean kind of a job, an entry-level job in this field in the DC area, I thought it would be easy to get a job that made over 50K. Where I live, it's like extremely expensive. We have one of the highest costs of living in the county that I live in the whole entire country of the United States of America. So I thought that, you know, starting off an entry-level job in politics, would making, you know, over 50K a year would not be hard. I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong. And when I started looking into getting a job at the company that I was interning for, at similar companies in other fields in politics, and I was watching the other interns around me attempt to get jobs, I was realizing that everyone who was getting a job and all of these jobs that I could apply for that I was qualified to get, people were making around $40,000. And I was like, how do you even live off that here? Like, I don't know. I guess a lot of people my age, you know, they don't have kids yet. They have roommates and things like that. So that is how they live off that amount of money. It wasn't all about the money for me, but the money was a big disappointment to realize that I wasn't going to be making crap for money after taxes and everything came out of my paycheck. That was very discouraging to me because I had just worked my ass off to get this degree in this field that I loved. And I realized that working for a company like this was going to take up all of my time. And I also knew that when I got an official position there, if I did, I was going to take up even more of my time because as an intern, I was leaving earlier than most other employees, and I was also coming in later than most other employees. A lot of the employees that worked in the same department that I was working in, they were coming in around like 8:30 a.m. and then they weren't leaving until like 6:30, 7 on Fridays. So the majority of their day, obviously the majority of their day, but the majority of their life was taken up by being in this office. I don't know, when I started to think about all of the time that was being taken away from me being with my daughter and my future children, and I started to think about how there wasn't gonna be financial freedom for me in this job for at least maybe 5 years or so. And when I started to realize that looking into other companies, nothing was helping, I started to decide that this wasn't the life that I wanted to live. I didn't want to sit at a desk from 9 to 5 or more every day and wait for 5 years to get a $10,000 a year raise. I didn't want to have to put everything that I have into getting that $5,000 bonus a year because I needed it to live. Like, I didn't want to be living in a crappy apartment for the next 10 years because I couldn't afford anything better. I didn't want to be spending 7 hours of my week or more on commuting every day. And I just started to realize that this wasn't the life I wanted. And I know that a lot of college students feel like this. I'm not saying I'm the only one. I'm not trying to say that I'm special because I couldn't find a high-paying job out of college and I didn't want to work 9 to 5. But I started to think, like, why am I doing this? Because I know that if I work for myself, I can do better and bigger things. I just started to realize that having a 9 to 5 and working in an office and in corporate America was not for me, and I didn't want to do it. So that was the decision that I made. About a month before my internship ended, I decided that I didn't want to do this anymore. And I decided that I wanted to pursue my dreams of working for myself on social media. So I'm not going to go into depth in this video about what the things I do on social media to make money are because it's not really relevant to this video. But I do YouTube. I have a family vlog channel that makes me money. This channel does not make me money currently, but I'm hoping that it will one day. So I have YouTube sponsorships, which I primarily do on YouTube. Once again, I have affiliate marketing that I do, which is basically like when I put out links where I make a commission through them. And then I'm also a Beachbody coach, so I do network marketing. So those are like my main sources of income right now. And as time goes on, I want to expand, and I do want to start more businesses, and I just have this like entrepreneurial itch right now, and I don't see it going away. I really don't, and I can see myself doing this for the rest of my life and being an entrepreneur and continuing to increase my income by my actions. That was a big thing for me, was that I wanted my actions to directly correlate with my income. Like if I sit at my 9-to-5 job for 10 hours that day, nothing happens, you know? I just went to work just like if I would have spent 7.5 hours there. You know, I wasn't going to be paid overtime or anything like that. And even if I was, it wasn't going to be significant. So I wanted my work to directly correlate with my income. So I wanted to be able to work harder and make more. I wanted to be able to travel more because I do have family that lives far away, and I didn't want to be restricted from seeing my family throughout the year. I also didn't want to be restricted from the time spent with my daughter because I was seeing her so little. During the week, I would see her for maybe an hour a night before her bedtime. And then on the weekends, I would have to spend at least one day of the weekend catching up on everything that I missed throughout the week while I was at work. So like cleaning the house, getting laundry done, grocery shopping, things like that. And again, I didn't really have any time to spend with her. Those are the things that I wanted so desperately. And I sat there at my desk at my internship thinking, why am I gonna wait 4 or 5 or 6 or how long, who knows how long this cycle would have been of me waiting until I make enough money where I can quit my job. Like, why am I not just pursuing what I want to do now? You know, why don't I force myself, like, Madison, you have to make this money or your rent's not getting paid. You have to work. Like, you have to build your business. You have to grow. You have to find new clients. You know, you have to find new people to watch your videos. Like, you have to find support and followers. And so that is exactly what I wanted to do, and that's what I'm doing now. And so far I love it. You know, a lot of people, and a lot of you guys have questions about this topic, so I'm going to answer those in a second. But I just realized that I didn't want to waste my time sitting at my desk at a 9-to-5 thinking and dreaming about this life that I wanted so desperately, and instead I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna take the leap. And one thing I wanted to say, which I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, and I know someone probably will, but I also realized that I am much more blessed than a lot of people in this country and especially in the world. You know, I have a significant other who's there that I can fall back on. I have him who's willing to financially take more responsibility for our family right now because he believes in the business that I can grow. And I also have family that I know would never let me end up on the streets. And that's more than a lot of people can say. And that's like the sad reality, but it's not that I don't think anything bad can happen to me, because I know whenever you're taking risks like this, and especially financial risks, that bad things can happen. You know, you can spiral downhill. It can happen. But I just know that there's people there for me that would never let something like horrible happen to my life. And I realized that because of that, I am more blessed than most people in that way. And, you know, a lot of people can't say that. You know, a lot of people, maybe if their finances just started spiraling out of control, they would end up homeless on the street. And that's just not the case for me. And I know that makes me more privileged than a lot of people, if you will. And I feel like I shouldn't take that for granted. Okay guys, so I'm sure this video is already getting long, so I'm just quickly going to answer a couple of questions that you guys had sent me in over on Instagram that you had on this topic. So Liz asked, are you nervous to miss out on the face-to-face social aspect of going into work? So no, I'm not really the most social person ever, which whenever I say that, I always get comments like, yeah, right, Madison, you're all over YouTube, like you're on your Insta stories all day, like how are you not social? I'm just not. I love being social with people that I've known for a long time, family, you know, like friends that I've had for a while, even like new friends, but I'm just not the most social person with just like random people at work. Like, I don't know. I did make some friends at work that I really like and I would hang out with again, but just, you know, it's not something that I have like a huge desire to do. Although I do have like a secret like dream of growing my business really big to the point where I have to have a assistant or like a team working for me and having them be like people that I really like and end up like spending a lot of time with, which is probably really weird, but that's like how big I dream. Like I think about my future like assistant and her personality and like how we're gonna become best friends, even though she doesn't exist yet. Brooke asked, how do you stay confident that you will bring in enough money since it's not hourly? So my thought process with the financial aspect of this was that like I said, the majority of jobs that I found that were entry level in my area that I could apply for and probably get would be around $40,000 a year. And I am confident in my ability to make more than that in the next year that I do this full time. So that was kind of my thought process, that I could make more money than that if I was spending my full time on my business. And then also, like I said, I don't want to take for granted the fact that I do have Will there who believes in me, and he's willing to take on more of the financial aspect of our family until I grow my business larger to the point where I can take care of us if I need to. Christina asked, how do you deal with like people's negative thoughts? So honestly, no one's really said anything too negative to me. I'm sure people think negative things, but no one's really said anything negative, especially not to my face. I tend to have a very resting bitch face, and at this point in my life, I don't really put up with people like being rude to me. Like if you're gonna be rude to me and like not be a nice person and not believe in me and what I do, like I don't really want you to be in my life. So the people that are in my life know that. So even if they do think negative things, they don't say them to me. But I also think about all the time how successful that I know I'm going to be, and that I'm going to be able to like help out people in my family if they need it. And like I hope that my parents won't have to worry if they like have enough money for retirement, because I can help them out and just little things like that. So that's kind of like my motivation behind like if I think like, oh, people probably think I'm, you know, I'm crazy or I'm too optimistic or stuff like that, I just think back to myself. I'm like, one day I'm gonna be doing all these incredible things that people wish that they could do, and then I just don't care anymore. So Olivia asked, do I regret going to college now that I'm a Beachbody coach? So I'm not just a Beachbody coach, but no, I don't regret going to college at all. One of my best friends that I made in college, Mariah, me and her used to have a joke that all the money that we spent on college was like worth it for our friendship. So like after our freshman year of college, we used to say that like, I used to call her my $30,000 best friend. And we used to joke about like how our friendship like meant enough to make up all that money that we spent on going to college, which is really silly joke, but truly like the people that I met in college and the experiences that I had and how much I grew up and really found myself and found this like motivated version of myself that can do attitude and that person that can do anything that she sets her mind to. I found that in college, and I also met Will in college. I had my daughter in college. I met some of my best friends that I know I will have for life in college. I found the area that I want to live in for the rest of my life, most likely. I really don't regret going to college at all, no. And then Denise asked what was my biggest fear with making this change, and obviously failure. Like of course failure is my biggest fear, but I don't really think about that too often, to be honest. I visualize myself every day being very successful, and like I said, helping people in my family and living in a giant house and having an assistant and you know, driving a nice car and sending my daughter to private school and like living this glamorous life. And I don't really ever think like, what if that doesn't happen? And I think that's one thing that I really like about myself, is that I'm not like that. I don't think about the negative things. I tell myself I can do something and then I do my best to do it. And I think that when you do that, the majority of the time you will not fail. So that is about all I have for you guys today in today's video. I will leave my link down below if you guys do want to join in on my health and fitness business that I do and you want to work with me. That's pretty much the only way that I have you guys can work with me, but I think that I have a really great attitude about things, and I do think that I'm going to rise to the top, and I would love to take you guys with me. So if you ever want to apply to be part of my team, go ahead and do that down below. I will also have the link to my second channel and everything like that, my Instagram, for you guys to check out. Be sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you all in my next one. Bye guys, and remember, you can do it all.